Hi, everybody. Today, the question we are answering is, how do I balance caregiving and life? If you're a caregiver, you could be caring for young children, raising your kids. You could be caring for an elderly parent, for a spouse. You could be a caregiver for yourself. You could have pets. There are a number of different life situations that make us caregivers, even though sometimes we really don't recognize ourselves by the word caregiver. So how do we do this? Because as all of us know, life can certainly become very unbalanced at times where we may just be devoting our time to work or a project or children or caring for a parent or something. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. Please follow me with these videos. Click the follow button down there. Click the subscribe button. Share these videos with other people that you know who are looking for caregiving and health and family relationships in hope, help, and support. So, life, it gets unbalanced. How do we keep it in balance and realize that sometimes it's not going to be perfect? I think if any of us think that life is perfect, we've already come to the belief or the recognition that things that we plan don't always go our way. And even sometimes things that we plan very well don't always go our way. The way to bring more balance into life is to ask for help and involve other people. Now, I know that caregivers don't like to do that because sometimes caregivers want to be super efficient and don't want to have to ask other people for permission, and you can get things done quicker than anybody else, so you're just going to go ahead and jump in and do it. But that really causes problems long term. And if you're a caregiver and you're feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and angry, it's very possible that you wanting to do a good job and being efficient and getting things done quickly like that have caused you actually more problems than you realize. So if you are a parent and you have kids and you're overwhelmed with housework and cooking and all of this kind of stuff, involve your kids, involve your family. It may take a little extra time, I get it, but that involvement is actually family time. And if you can actually teach your children and other people how to help you, then over time that becomes more efficient and you have a little bit of time for self-care, which is something that caregivers tell me that they never have time to do. Well, yes and no. We make a lot of excuses in our lives for why we can't do things. I don't have enough time. It's the wrong day of the week. I'm tired. I think it's going to take too much effort. We can talk ourselves out of just about everything, including creating more balance in our life, because that takes work. It takes us being intentional. It takes us thinking about, what is this thing that I am agreeing to do? What are the pros and the cons? What are the short-term and the long-term consequences of doing this? What don't I know about doing this? Am I an expert at this? Have I done it before? Are there questions I should be asking? Are there other people that I should be asking for help? And so in life, it's a lot of people. It's, if you're trying to save money, it might be a financial planner or a CPA that does your taxes. If it's your health, it could be a doctor, a healthcare provider. If it's a legal issue, it could be an attorney. If it's caregiving or health, it could be a care manager, a caregiving expert, an eldercare consultant like myself. So there's a lot of places to go to get help, including people that we know who may have been through similar experiences. Information online, although you do have to be very careful about that because sometimes it's slanted. Books, lots of information out there. Especially there's information on my website for caregivers, PamelaDWilson.com. But so in achieving balance in life, it means that we're going to have to shift, okay? We're going to have to shift some of what we're doing over here to maybe some of what we're doing over here. And that shifting can be stressful because we actually have to make a plan to shift. And if we're burned out, we may be thinking, oh, I need this to change overnight. And that probably isn't very realistic at all. Nothing changes overnight except If our parents have an accident like a hip fracture, then yesterday they were healthy, today they're in the hospital. But if we're trying to make changes in relationships or tasks or the way that we do things, we actually have to make a plan and start working the plan. Now that should make you feel really good because that's progress. But I know many of you feel frustrated because you're thinking, oh, I should be able to do this, it should be easier. Well, sometimes it's just not. Sometimes there are so many complications, especially if you don't control everything in that flow of tasks. If your parents are involved, or a spouse, or your children, or it involves somebody at work, you have to kind of bring in a team effort and a team consensus about how you're going to do this, and be realistic about how long it could take. So many of us try to fit so much into our daily lives that we can't possibly keep up, and then we're disappointed because we didn't achieve that goal, when really we just overscheduled and underplanned. So the way to achieve balance in life is to look at where in life are you unbalanced? What can you do to change that? How can you change it? Are other people involved? Can you get them to support the change and help you? Can you accept the fact that you're going to have to involve other people and that you need help and support to get where you want? And is that really such a bad thing? So the answer is, how do I find balance in life and caregiving, is really to think about it, make a plan, review the questions that I just mentioned, and get started today. The longer you wait, the more frustrated you're going to become about how unbalanced your life is. I'm Pamela D Wilson. Please share this video. Please visit my website. You can join my online caregiver support group on Facebook. It's called the Caregiving Trap. I do a weekly podcast called The Caring Generation. It airs every Wednesday. That information is on my website, or you can just search your favorite podcast or music app for the Caring Generation podcasts. And there's also a lot of help and support on my website, my caregiving library, one-to-one eldercare consultations, articles, videos, and more. I'm Pamela D Wilson. Thanks for being here. Have a fabulous day today. I'll see you all again soon in another video.